Hey, what's going on everyone? This is iReviews back with another video, and the long wait is over. iPadOS 16 is finally here. Actually, it's 16.1. Apple decided not to release iPadOS 16 with the release of iOS 16, but push it for iOS 16.1 and of course iPadOS 16.1. So here we have the new iPadOS software, and it has of course a ton of features and changes. So in this video, I will show you guys more than 20 new hidden features and changes that you will be able to find on iPadOS 16.1. Alright, this right here will most likely make a lot of iOS users really mad. iPadOS actually has a dark mode wallpaper, as you can see it right here. Now if I turn on light mode, you will notice right there the wallpaper change. We have the light mode wallpaper, which you can find on iOS as well, but on iOS you won't be able to find the dark mode wallpaper. iPadOS 16.1 will bring the new Stage Manager to your device. It's a way to control your apps using Windows, just like you would do on your Mac or your PC. It is really great, and you will have to actually enable it by going to your settings, go to home screen and multitasking, and here we'll have Stage Manager from where you can enable it or disable it. But did you know that there's an easy way to do this without having to go to your settings app? So once you have iPadOS 16.1 on your device, just head on to Settings Control Center and make sure you add Stage Manager from there. And all you have to do now is go to your Control Center, and you can use the Stage Manager directly from here. And if you want to change the look of the Stage Manager, head on to your settings, go to home screen and multitasking, head on to Stage Manager, and here you can choose whether you want to see recent apps or the dock. You can enable or disable each of them. Now while you're using the Stage Manager, you will have your apps showing like this. You will have the recent apps, and you can switch between them from here, and you can also resize your apps. If you want to resize them, you can just drag from that. You can see that little like knob right there. You can just resize the apps just like this. Now if you want to add more apps on this view right here, you can tap on the three dots and tap on add other window. You can go ahead and add another window right here. You can switch between different windows as easy as this. Another way to add apps here on the Stage Manager view is simply by dragging them from here. You can see right there on the recent apps, I can add them from there, or I can go ahead and add them from the dock. Moving on to the Photos app, we have a few different new we have some new features here as well. You're editing a photo on the Photos app, you will now get an undo and redo button. So if I just undo something like that, I can redo it once again. So all the edits that you do, you can undo and redo them as easy as that with these two buttons. One of my favorite features of iPadOS 16.1, which is a feature on iOS as well, is that now you can search within the Photos app using text that you will be able to find on that photo. So if I search for settings right there, it will show me all the photos that it finds that have the settings word included on them. This is really great. Previously you could do this only from the Spotlight search, but the results weren't even that great, and it works way better on the Photos app with iPadOS 16.1. Another great new feature on iPadOS 16 is the ability to actually adjust the date and location of photos simply by selecting a bunch of them. Previously, you had to do this one by one. Now I can just select all of these photos, and from here I can tap the three dots and I can adjust the location, or I can adjust the date and time of all these photos together. On the iMessage app on your iPad, now you can easily record a voice message without having to tap and hold the voice record button. So if you want to record a voice message, all you have to do is just tap like that, and no longer need to hold that button in order to record a voice message. One cool thing that you will get on the Messages app with iPadOS 16 is that now we have a folder which is dedicated for your unread messages. So you don't have to look around for your unread messages. You just go here and you will find a folder dedicated for unread messages. On the Mail app on iPadOS 16.1, you can set a reminder for an email. So let's say you get an email, but you need iPad to actually remind you of that email later. All you have to do is just swipe like this, tap on Remind Me, and you can set here a reminder for that email. You can see right here you have some presets, or you can just choose any time, any date you want and set a reminder for that email. As you probably know, on iOS 16 and now iPadOS 16.1, you can send emails later. So you send an email, you can send it at any time you want. Basically schedule any email you want. Well, now you will have the ability to find all of them on the send later folder. So when you go to your email, you go to inboxes, you will see a send later folder, which will contain all the mails that you have scheduled to be delivered later. Now this will be a very useful feature when using your iPad with iPadOS 16.1. You can select any word you want and you will find now here a button that says find selection. This will find that word on that text, maybe text, maybe a text document, or maybe a note. Whatever you're doing on your iPad, this will be very, very useful. You will have the buttons here which allow it to move through words that it has found, and this is very useful. Previously you could do this on Safari and websites, now you can do it anywhere on iPadOS. Moving on to the Files app, this is really cool. You can delete a file from here, and what I can do now is tap and hold, and I can undo that file that I have deleted. I can get it back just like that. We have some really cool options here with iPadOS 16.1. If I 3D touch on a file like this photo right here, let me just try this once more, I can get here quick actions. Now quick actions in this case will allow me to mark up, rotate it, create a PDF, or even convert that image, or even remove the background from that image. Now these quick actions will be different, of course, based on different files. Of course, music files will have different quick actions, PDFs, different quick actions, photos, different quick actions, but they're very, very useful. And here's another really cool feature. If I select a bunch of files here, I can go ahead and tap on more, and then I can create a new folder containing these two items. I tap here, and there's the new folder. It will also move those files within that folder. And now let's move on to the Settings app for some more new features. Head on under Accessibility and find Siri. Right here we'll find Announce Notifications on Speaker. This will allow Siri to announce your notifications through the speakers of your iPad. Tap on here and you will be able to choose for which apps you want to use these notifications that will be announced and for which not. That's really, really cool. You don't have to get all the notifications through your speakers. You can just choose the ones that you actually need. Under Accessibility, you will find another really useful thing right here. Go to Touch and you will find here Prevent Lock to End Call. So with the lock on your iPhone and your iPad, you will actually end the phone call. If you don't want to do that no longer, go ahead and enable this button. When you go to your focuses on iPadOS 16.1, you will be able to choose for which focus you want to share the status. So you go to Focus Status, you enable Share Focus Status, of course, if you want to share it, and then you can choose individually for each of your focus modes whether you want to share the status or not for that specific focus mode. Moving on to Safari right here, if you go to Safari and you want to clear the history and website data, you tap on clear. Now it will ask you whether you want to close the tabs or not. So if you have tabs opened on Safari, you can choose not to close them if you want to just clear the rest of the history and not clear those tabs. Or of course, if you just want to clear everything, you tap on close tabs. And last but not least, under the Mail app, you probably know that you can undo sent emails on iPadOS and iOS 16. Well, you can choose how much you want to have a delay before you can undo the send. You can just go ahead and go here under Mail, undo send delay, and you can choose whether you want to turn it off, or you can choose how long you have, basically that window in which you can undo a sent email from 10 seconds to 20 or 30 seconds. So that is it for this video, guys. These are more than 20 new hidden features and changes that you will be able to find on your iPad running iPadOS 16.1. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Subscribe for more, and I'll see you on the next one.